Hi, this is Patrick Hickey Jr. I'm the author of The Minds Behind the Games, interviews with cult and classic video game developers, and you are listening to the Budget Arcade Podcast.
Hello gamers and welcome to Budget Arcade, a free-to-play gaming podcast to help you navigate through the growing realm of free-to-play games. I'm Scott.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Elliot.
And welcome to episode number 30. Just to recap, we play a free-to-play game each week and then we review it. Elliot, what is this week's game?
We are played the Super Kirby Clash, the game of a game of a game. Super Kirby Clash is an action RPG in which up to 4 players or CPUs form a party to fight against bosses using modified copied abilities based on classic RPG genres. Super Kirby Clash released on September 4th of this year, 2019. It is an expanded version of the Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, which is itself an expansion of the Team Kirby Clash sub-game. Let's see, Super Kirby Clash has improved single and multiplayer modes as well as new stages and bosses. It is the second free-to-play Kirby game in the series after Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. Oh, I said a mouthful.
Yeah, and that one was what, on the DS, right?
Well, there was a version, my understanding is there was a version on the Wii U as well as the DS, so he's been around. Kirby's getting around, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sounds like Kirby.
Kirby's a dirty boy.
Well, he's... there's so many jokes. When you have a character that literally sucks, it's going to be tough to avoid jokes for the next however long this episode is.
Did you ever see the creators of Kirby were all in a room and they all tried to draw Kirby, like their interpretation of Kirby? And like you could tell the one guy who was clearly the artist and the other guys were all like the programmers. It's very funny. It's worth looking up. So
yeah, look for that on the Budget Arcade Twitter account, right, Scott?
Yes.
Actually, they can look for it on the Budget Arcade website that's all now up.
Is it up?
Budget Arcade.
That's news to
it's
us.
budgetarcade.com.
Yeah.
I showed Elliot.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, you showed Elliot. I guess that's good enough.
Didn't I?
Oh, okay.
Did I not do it in the normal chat?
Oh, okay.
No,
that's
just
fine.
The U
I
and
thought
B
I did
chat.
it in the normal chat.
No, you put it in just the U and B
okay.
chat.
Uh-huh.
The one that we talk
I'm
about.
sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
I thought I put it in the regular chat, but I think you were too busy playing. What was that game that just
Borderlands
came out?
3.
Yeah, not Super.
Yeah, Borderlands 3. You were too busy playing that.
So listen. So full transparency this week.
Yeah.
I didn't play a ton of this game. I played a bit actually before we
Because
decided.
you were playing Borderlands 3.
Yes, I was playing Borderlands 3. I was recording my new episode
3.
of my podcast that just came out yesterday. Where Scott is on there, and we cover Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove. You should go check it out. It's available right now. So I was editing that. It took a long time, and I've been playing Borderlands 3, and it's really great. New Game Plus for that game. Isn't that how we do it, or is that a different show?
That's a different show.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Gameplay.
I got it, Scott. Just calm down. I got this.
Before?
So, this is...
You were harping on Kirby.
Yeah, okay. So so what's your... Real brief, what's your history with Kirby?
I played on the NES. I played on the Super Nintendo, both of which I played recently on the Switch, because they've had ports on there. That's about it. I think maybe I played a little bit of the Game Boy whenever you owned it, Jeff, but very briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit of Game Boy, a little bit of Super Nintendo. I played a lot of the 64 version, and I played Epic Yarn on the Wii U, which I actually liked. I liked the gimmick of Epic Yarn, but so don't love them, don't hate them.
Yeah,
Was it epic?
No, it wasn't as epic as I wanted it to be.
Yeah. I played the Yoshi's, what's the Yoshi's Woolly World, which is like the epic yarn version of Yoshi, which was not bad. But I've just kind of seen Kirby as this like platformer light. It's the platformer for people who think Mario's too hard. And I don't find it that engaging, generally speaking. I've beaten the original, and I think the actual original was Game Boy, right? And then
I believe that's
came out.
I believe so.
So I've beaten Dream World and the Game Boy one and the second Game Boy one, and then played some since then. But as of late, the series to me has just gotten so stale because it's so easy. And so what this game is just the boss battles of those games that are already kind of stale and lack depth. And that's it. That's all it is just boss battles. And we'll get into like what you get. You get gear and level up. And I think you said RPG, which when you said it, I'm like, no, it's not. This is.
I mean, it's got weapons that you upgrade, armor that you upgrade, classes.
I mean, it's kind of RPG light because you are leveling off of experience points.
Nintendo
Your party
considers it
is
an RPG at least.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
for whatever that means.
but you've got classes that are RPG style. You've got your mage, your swordsman, your hammer user, which is like your tank, and then your healer.
I guess in the barest sense of the definition, it's an RPG, but I will reluctantly concede then, I guess. But I wouldn't have ever.
So you were
said
saying that you feel Kirby is like for the easy setting of platformers. Would you say it goes Kirby, Yoshi, then Mario?
Okay, so Kirby certainly is the easiest, but when you talk about Yoshi, there's a lot of series like Yoshi's Woolly World wasn't that tough, but the original Yoshi's Island is not
original
easy.
Yoshi's Island is my jam.
I love that game, but it's not easy.
That one's actually really easy. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
That's easy.
All right, well there you have it.
I haven't played Woolly World.
My
is that
son
good?
Brandon, when he had it on the Game Boy Advance, he beat it quite handily.
Okay, well,
and that was when he was, I think, 6.
I got stuck at several points in that. But to answer your question, Elliot,
you suck. Oh, excuse me.
Okay, that's edit that out.
You're gonna have to edit that.
Yeah, that was horrible. So Elliot, if you
what
like
are you talking about?
Epic Yarn, you'll probably like Woolly World. It's fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 2-player co-op, so you can play with Tessa. But
yeah, she struggles to play games. She's not a huge video game person.
All right, so let's discuss some of this gameplay.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the hack and slash aspect of it. Each character has like special moves, but not 100% special. It's kind of like a Super Smash where you charge up your move to unleash it on the boss.
So all three of us have played Super Smash Brothers, right?
Sure.
So
yes.
Here's one of the biggest hurdles for me in this game is the controls. And y'all always make fun of me for wanting to invert my controls. But I'm so used to playing Smash where my jumps are the top 2 buttons and my attacks are the bottom 2. And they're not in that place, so there was just so much time just having to get used to the control scheme. Did you guys experience that?
Yeah,
I did a little bit, yes.
There's not a lot of buttons here to choose from, right? I mean, you're moving left and right.
Yeah, but it's just the place. It's just
you're
the placement.
Jumping / flying. Yeah, they are in a weird place. I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree. You're 100% on that.
Yeah. So that was that's really a minor gripe because if you really like the game, you'll spend the time and get to know how to play it. But I didn't really like the game, so having that be one more hurdle didn't help.
Right.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, though, and part of the problem is it does kind of control like a Smash game where you have up and strong attack and down and strong attack. And so my brain kept wanting to go back to Smash because what it was asking me to do was play it like a Smash game, but the buttons were not the same. And I think that's kind of where the problem lied for me.
I think they were actually trying to go for that type of fighting model because it felt very similar to a Smash within this fighting model. But I mean, because it's Kirby and he's got your each Kirby has different powers and abilities, you have to play within those powers and stuff to be able to do it. I mean, like, so if Kirby sucks up Link in Smash Brothers, you get the sword, correct?
Right.
So you then fight similar to like how Link would fight, as opposed to fighting like how Kirby would fight.
Well,
And that's kind of how this feels with these different character sets, because, you know, your swordsman has a sword. He fights like a lot like Link would fight. The hammer one, I think, would be
like DDD,
similar
probably.
to King DDD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then your mage was kind of like Samus in a way. As far as, like, you know, your
Man, that's a stretch, but yeah.
well,
I get what
I'm
you're
trying
saying.
to think
Yeah,
of who
yeah.
was a projectile.
Sure.
Whoever is a projectile character within Smash.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It
then
definitely
the
pulls him more just from the recent games, right? There's nothing
Oh,
new
yeah.
here. Like, all of these classes and all that are just things that you'll have run into playing any of the recent Kirby games.
Right.
So this, to me, because of the simplicity of it and the fact there really isn't anything new, it's just like screams cash grab, right? I mean,
Oh, for
free to play is a big thing,
Well,
and
you say
this
cash
just feels
grab, but
Well,
really, you can play a lot of this game and not spend a dime.
I guess that's fair,
true.
but it doesn't justify its existence. Like, it feels like very little effort was put into it. They drop it on the same day they announce it, and there's nothing in here for anyone to like. You can play a lot, but what are you doing? Facing
All
the
right,
same
so-
bosses over and over?
Counterpoint.
now stop right there. Okay, them dropping it the same day they announce it is exactly the same thing that Apex Legends did, right?
Very
Yeah.
similar.
But Apex Legends
So that's
is
not that's
no,
yes,
no.
But it's,
Let's go with your point.
but it's that model is not completely
That
unfathomable now, because
I agree.
big name companies are doing this now.
Okay, I agree.
Okay,
but here's the
and
thing.
Well, here's another point, though.
Shut up!
Another
Here's
point
the
is
thing.
this is not the first game, right? Like, this is
I-
the third version
Exactly.
of this game.
And everything in Apex Legends was new. I mean, I know it was based on the Titanfall engine, but that did not feel like Titanfall. And it had all these great mechanics that you hadn't seen in any games of the same genre, right? You know, the pinging system, how easy it was to swap your gear. It took the genre Battle Royale and elevated it, and now all the other Battle Royales are playing catch up, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
they
I'm just
announced
saying
it.
how the
I get what
the
you're saying.
announcement and dropping it at the same time. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm fine with that, right? But the problem is that the game isn't anything. It's a fraction of a Kirby game. And I'm pointing more at, I don't have a problem with someone announcing and releasing a game, but when you put out a game that isn't a full game and you announce and release, it feels improvised, is kind of more what I'm saying.
Did you feel that way about Tetris 99?
I had never played it, but let's look at Tetris 99. What all's in there, though?
I mean, it's Tetris.
Tetris
It's
against a
Tetris.
bunch of people. It's Battle Royale Tetris.
Right. So those to me are not great comparisons, but the reason Tetris 99 could be
Hyrule,
announced
or
and
not
dropped.
Hyrule Warriors, but Cadence of Hyrule was
I-
very quickly announced.
Right. And again, my problem isn't with the announcement and the release, right? So my problem is,
You don't
And
think
it's
you're
not
playing
even
a
a
full
problem.
game.
I think that Nintendo got in a boardroom and said, let's put out a free-to-play Kirby game. And they said, you go get some pieces, you put them in that box, and we'll put it out there tomorrow. And it just was like no thought behind it, right?
But
Cadence
okay,
of Hyrule
Well, I
has a
think it
ton
was
of
just
thought.
The fact of the remake.
but the other thing too is like we literally talked about this before we started recording. Like, Nintendo does that, right? They've taken all of their Wii U games and have now ported them over. This was
Yes.
a 3DS game, and they have ported
Okay.
it over. That's their new
So
thing.
let's stick with that again.
Yeah, isn't
right?
there's another game that's supposed to be coming out, and people are screaming that it's or no, Elliot, you were talking about the Pokemon game, Sword and Shield.
Sword
that
and
it's just
Shield
going to
is-
be a port.
Well, they started it on the 3DS, and are now putting it
Okay,
on
so it was originally supposed to be on the 3DS,
Right.
and now it's going to be on the Switch.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a port
Yeah,
just like they're
I
doing with
think
these
so.
other games.
But let's stick with this port mentality, right? So what Wii U games have been ported pretty much like barely touched? Mario Kart, right?
Okay.
You got some extra modes. Actually, you got a battle system, so that doesn't even qualify because there's actually a ton of new stuff in it. It wasn't existent in the other one. But either way, okay, let's just say it's the exact same game, right? All right.
Okay.
That's still a full video game. What if all they ported was like one track?
You say this is not a full video game, but there's 48 different levels of bosses that you can play in this game. That's just single player. And then there's another 48, the same levels, but you can play them multiplayer online or with your friends.
Mm-hmm. So it's a boss rush mode.
Yeah, it's a boss rush mode, but what signifies a full game to you then?
When the other elements are there, right? Because Kirby is a side-scrolling platformer adventure game, and all they did was take the boss battles from previous games, right?
Okay.
I'm not crazy that all of these elements existed before this game did. That's my point. I don't feel like there's a lot here. And
well, I agree with that completely. I don't feel like there's a lot here either.
Yeah, there's not. Okay, so let's go back to the gameplay a little bit. It's just hack and slash basically. You can charge up your attacks. You can, because it's Kirby, he can fly up and then do like a slamming downward attack. The only exception to that is the hammer character. The hammer character, because the hammer's so heavy, you actually cannot fly up with that. And actually, I was laughing at that one because it's a little bit hilarious watching Kirby try to fly up with that and immediately hitting the ground. I know the sword character can't fly for too long because the sword gets heavy and then he starts to drop down further pretty quickly after that. There is, as you're fighting the boss, these fragments of this tablet will drop, and if every person who's playing grabs a piece of that tablet, there's a special move that occurs that you guys can do.
It's a cutscene.
It's a mini game.
Yeah, it's a cutscene.
Well,
yeah, it's a mini game and a cutscene.
Yeah, it's so when you beat a level of just about any Kirby game, and it varies depending on the Kirby game, but there's like a sliding scale or whatever, and you hit it exactly, almost like a carnival game where you hit the hammer and the bell, and then you see how far you can go. It's kind of like just that. It's not engaging in any way. The animation's kind of cool.
You poo-poo it so hard on this game. I don't think this game was as bad as you think it. I don't think it's as bad as you make it sound.
Sure, we've played worse games.
For sure. Oh, no doubt.
But not by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Well, I didn't play Dribble, you lost, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few mobile
So
games.
we can bounce back to...
you like Dr. Mario more than this?
Yes, because Dr. Mario World was different. I actually expected it to be regular Dr. Mario.
Again?
I don't remember. Not far, not as far as you guys
10,
did.
I think it was.
Sure. But it was different. Just basing it purely on... I still didn't have fun with it, but it was a different game, right? The concepts were different. It wasn't just Dr. Mario or a piece of Dr. Mario. It had some thought behind it. They didn't just pump it out, right? They designed it.
Yeah, that's it.
Paywall.
All right, so let's go into what Payne gets.
Fruit off of a tree.
So, yeah.
Gem apples, I believe, is the word you were looking for.
Yeah, gem apples is the currency in this game, and it's used for everything. So you buy your weapons with it, your armor.
So it's pay to win.
No, I wouldn't even say it's pay to win. I would say it's pay to progress, because you have to use the gem apples to unlock the next levels.
But you also earn so many gem apples from playing.
You do, and not only that, Nintendo's giving like 100 free gem apples right now. There's a couple codes online where you can get some more gem apples. I know there was like 2 codes online, and then in the Nintendo eShop, they're giving 100 free gem apples right now, which, I don't know how long that's going to last. But even like the previous iterations of this game, there was codes that they were releasing on a regular basis, especially during like special events, Christmas, Halloween,
Arbor Day,
normal holidays that they were, Arbor Day. They would give you extra tree gem apples, because apples come from trees.
Yep. Thanks, Scott.
Make the jump to light
Nope,
speed.
we got it. We got it.
But yeah, so they do give you a lot, and I think it's every 12 hours you can harvest from the tree,
yes.
and you get 10 gem apples from the tree, unless you make a purchase. If you make a purchase of 50 apples or more, your tree grows, and then every time you harvest every 12 hours, you get more gem apples. I don't know what the... Do you remember what they said? If it even said how many?
You had
Yeah,
if you spent.
it ever said.
Well, it did. If you spent like $40, which was the most you could buy, your gem apple tree went up to like 100 or 200 or something like that. It actually went up quite a lot.
Okay, so if you make one purchase for this game, you're going to be getting gem apples fairly handy on a regular basis every 12 hours. But yeah, it is definitely a pay to progress just because of the fact that you have to use those gem apples to unlock new levels, unlock new weapons, unlock new armors. If you're playing the game and you run out of the vigor, which is the stamina which allows you to fight, you can refill that with another 2 apples and that'll get you back to full. Or you can wait and gain 1 vigor every 7 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous. Especially, so at the level I was at, 1 level cost 11 vigor to play.
And how many vigor points did you have? Does that change?
15, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it does go up.
Yeah, that's what
as
I
you
thought.
level. I was at level 10, and I think my max was I was at level 11. My max was like 15 vigor. I think that's right. 11. No, wait, that's not right. Because
I don't think it is, because I think I got to 10, and I think I had 17.
I was at 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at like 21 or 20 or something like. Because I would play a level that was 11 vigor, and then I was left with 9, and then I had to wait 14 minutes to be able to play another game, or I had to pay to revive my vigor with the apple.
But I also, how many apples did you have towards the end? I had like almost 200 apples.
I didn't have that many because I was trying to buy the weapons and the armors
I was doing
to
that
keep
too.
my characters. But I also wasn't. I wasn't really hitting the tree up as often as I probably.
I
could
was
have.
definitely hitting it up any chance I could, just to see. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that whole come back every 9 hours and get your thing. I'm so bad
I didn't
at
do that at all.
I'm such a sucker.
I
for
would
those
get on the
things.
game, and that was it. I don't know, Jeff. Were you able to do any of that?
What? Just pick apples?
Yeah, just pick apples.
Yeah, I can pick apples. So
this is an apple picking simulator. Didn't you know that?
Yeah. So one thing
apple
we should
season.
also point out when we're talking about the paywall is that you do need your Nintendo Online membership to be able to play online. I don't have the online membership right now, so I wasn't able to go on and play the online at all. But I was able to play locally with my son, and just kind of to point out, I told him. I watched that Nintendo Direct. I said, "Ooh, this is coming out, Teddy." He loves Kirby. He beat the latest one several times, and he's already bored with this game.
Yeah. How far did he get?
I'm not sure exactly. He's beaten like 10 or 12 bosses. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But and he is a boss kid. Anytime I'm playing a game, he's like, "What's the boss in this? How many bosses are there? How do you do?" And he's already done with this. He's back to playing Mario Maker, and
yeah. Oh, and this game is Teddy approved, obviously.
It's Kirby. And actually, if you have younger children, it's perfect because it's Kirby. It's light. You can sit down and play 4-player couch co-op.
That's what really sells me with
multiple
this game.
kids. And I think that is is a plus. The
couch co-op is nice, especially if you have enough what are they called?
Your Joy-Cons?
Question about the Joy-Cons for you two. Do you guys ever play games with single Joy-Con?
Only
Not really.
if I'm like in a place where I'm improvising 2-player. Like if
I absolutely hate using a single Joy-Con.
Now, I have
Oh, I do too.
these grip things that my wife got me for Christmas one year, and they really help. You just slot them in, and it gives you triggers for your buttons on the top, and it feels like a comfortable controller. It actually makes a huge difference. So it's one extra piece of equipment you have to carry with you.
I bought a pro controller, so I make everybody else use the Joy-Cons. But
yeah, I'm the same way. I have a pro controller for my Switch and one for Teddy's, and if I can, that's what I'm using. I mean, it's just the only time I don't use the pro controller is when I need really precise button presses on the D-pad, because the D-pad on the pro controllers kind of sucks. It's not Xbox 360 bad, but it's one of the worst D-pads I've used.
Yeah, I agree.
Too many accidental ups.
Yeah,
like if you play like Krypton the Necrodancer.
No, as soon as you said that, I literally thought of that. Luminous,
the puzzle game. Too many accidental ups or accidental downs even. And so a lot of people complain about the 4 separate buttons for the D-pad on the Joy-Con. I really love that.
Yeah,
and I've beaten Shovel Knight with it, and it's my preferred way to play any sort of precise platformer like Celeste. I really love those, not to get off topic, but I'm a fan of the 4 separate buttons. So them having the D-pad on the Switch Mini is kind of a downer for me, actually.
I mean, are you going to buy a Switch Mini? Is that something that interests you? Yeah.
It mildly interests me because I like the extended battery life and the portableness of it. If I could hook it up to my TV, I'd be on board. That's I don't care about HD Rumble. If I could...
Yeah.
Even if all they'd have to release, and this is what mind boggles me about that console, is why can't you release just a little adapter? All it is USB-C to HDMI.
They don't want that. They don't want that.
It doesn't make sense, though. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
They want you
Nintendo
to buy
being
one.
Nintendo.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Yeah. So that's why I won't purchase one, because I need to be able to hook it up to my TV.
All right, so what about replayability on this?
I think obviously you know where I stand.
Multiple levels. I don't think this
Does
is
he sound drunk to you?
bad
Yes.
game.
Keep it in.
I think he's got a bad connection.
I don't think this
I don't think
it's just kind of like
he
there.
could hear us.
There's a
He's
lot
talking
of-
in front of a
If you're
fan.
gonna play this game.
I want to get
I mean, if you're gonna play this
some
game, you're gonna replay a lot of it,
pants.
right? So
Yeah, hell
replay.
yeah. It's so good.
I'm recording on my actual mic now, so I'm recording on my actual mic now too. So
No, we're keeping this
Oh,
in.
did your power come back on? Oh, that was awesome.
all right. Well, I'm on my regular mic now too.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So
That was good.
oh,
I needed that.
Your power come back on?
it did.
Elliot?
I've been recording on my mic for 16 minutes now.
Okay.
So
Oh, sweet. So I'm gonna have to like splice
yeah,
in
but it
all
won't
this
be bad.
audio
It won't be
left and
bad.
right.
It won't be bad.
It won't be as bad as editing an episode of Neo Retro Video Game Disco, where I have like 4 projects that I needed to splice together, and woo.
We'll just clap at the end, and then you can sync it that way.
Replayability.
Yeah, that'll work.
So.
Okay. Just remember before
Okay,
we sign off.
so what were you saying about replayability, Elliot? 'Cause
Yeah, sorry.
It's that's okay.
If you're gonna play this game, there's a lot of replayability that you have to do. You have to replay a certain amount of levels just to get, more gem apples. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of replayability,
That's
but
another
not in a
thing.
good way.
Right.
Yeah, there is a lot of replayability because there's different tasks within each level that you can do to gain like the stars within the levels. I think there's 5 stars for each level,
Yeah, something like that.
depending on what you're doing. I know some of them are like, you have to beat the boss with the mage, or you had to beat the boss with the sword character, or you had to beat the boss in under so many minutes to get like the gold status or the silver status.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of replayability when that's considered.
That's the thing, like, they always
But
find to
whether or
be
not you're-
a problem with the category of replayability is, like, is there stuff to do? Yes. Are you going to want to do it? That's where the question lies.
Yeah. So Ted's how old again, Jeff?
9.
Wow, nice.
Okay. So
I get that way when people
A
ask what my wedding
9-year-old
anniversary is.
Oh, I know mine. I won't get in trouble for forgetting his birthday, but I'll get in trouble for forgetting the anniversary. So
Yeah,
I had to pick and choose.
9-year-old has only been playing the game for, 2 weeks now? He's already tired of it?
He was done, I think he played it for the first 2 days it came out. Now, keep in mind, he's homeschooled, so he does have time during the day to do that. So I'm not sure how many hours he's put into it. But...
Terrible parent. Oh, sorry. What was that?
You better watch your tone, bruh. Take a dump in your sink. So Teddy's kind of interesting how he games. He really likes games with creative modes. So he loves Mario Maker. He loves Minecraft. Anything where he can build and be creative, he loves. And this game doesn't have that. All this game is boss battles. And so I think that's why he was like, I'm going to go back to something that I actually like and engages me, which is things with creative modes.
Judgment.
All right. Jeff, Seal?
No, it's free though. And that's always the thing about this show is it's free. There's no reason not to try it, but there's nothing for me here. This is about as empty and shallow as a game can be and be released. I mean, all the components are complete because it is a Nintendo at least. I mean, so the controls work. It runs well, but it's just a heartless game.
All right, Elliot?
Yeah, I'm not going to give it my seal. I think after a week I was done. I mean, I think this game shines in couch co-op. I think if I could get 3 other people in the same room playing, I'd have fun for a little while. But overall, I don't think there's a lot to it. But I don't feel like it's a huge cash grab either. I don't feel like they're really trying to take advantage of people. So, but it's only okay at best.
You know what we forgot to discuss, Elliot? So when we were playing online together,
oh, how horrible!
Lag,
yeah.
The lag on this game was terrible. So this game would be great for couch co-op, but online play with your buddies, the lag is terrible. I don't know what it is. Nintendo has probably the worst lag problem when it comes to their games online.
Oh, absolutely.
Than any other out there. I think the issue is these Nintendo made games like Smash Brothers, Kirby, they connect to the host locally. So it's, my connection and your connection talking to each other instead of it being like a server that we connect to.
And historically, Nintendo doesn't care about online. Just historically, they do not care.
Yeah.
And so they're late to the party. So you've got, if you're ranking them just on consoles, Xbox on top, because they've cared about online first, with the exception of the Dreamcast, but they cared about it first, and then Sony kind of is lagging behind the Xbox, and then Nintendo's way in the back. I mean, I didn't have any problems with Splatoon 2, though.
I had
zero
problems with that.
It ran really well.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I had
That's
zero
true. I played
problems
Mario
on
Kart.
Mario Kart on the Wii U. I had zero problems.
Yeah.
Well, the question, though, is, are they having dedicated servers for those games, or are
they have to be?
Yeah, they have to. The big name games, I think they do dedicated servers.
Fortnite has no problem, and I know 100% those are dedicated. I've never had a problem.
Well,
with Fortnite
is going to be the Epic Games. They're going to run it on their own servers, and that's not an issue. Any of the third-party games that are not associated with Nintendo but are on the Switch, you're not going to have issues with the connections on those. I'm talking, just Nintendo I can't say the word. Proprietary video games. I think a lot of those, they're doing peer-to-peer connections as opposed to running them off a server.
I have no proof, but that doesn't sound wrong. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
And so
I could be wrong. I don't really know, but it doesn't run as well as...
So because of that fact, I'm not going to give Kirby my seal, because the multiplayer online is just, it's spotty at best, ridiculous. I think all of us got the tablet pieces on the game me and Elliot were playing,
God,
and
that was-
you press the button and it was like it
Oh,
did nothing.
yeah.
And then you had to press it a second time, and then it was like way off from where you actually hit it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not going to get my seal because of the online play is just crap.
Suck it, Kirby. That's my Scott Dad
Well,
joke.
that's what Kirby does best.
That's my Scott Dad joke. I apologize.
Yeah. Nice. It's okay. I don't think we had any listener commentary this week, did we?
Nobody
so.
cares.
Damn it, listeners! You got to get in with us.
No, you don't.
You
Good
could
call,
bash
listeners.
the game with us.
Good call.
Yeah, that's a good call. This
All right, so next week we will be interviewing Ian Tournay. He's a producer for Phoenix Labs.
Where would we know Phoenix Labs?
That would be the creators of Dauntless.
Thank you.
We want to thank you for joining us. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, we ask that you would leave us a great review and that we're awesome. And maybe we'll read your review on the show.
Yeah, just make it as dishonest as possible and say the most glowing things you can. It'll really help you out and us out.
mostly
you can
us, but
Yeah, particularly. You can follow us on all the social medias. We are at Budget Arcade on Twitter. We are at Budget Arcade on Instagram. If you have Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/Budget Arcade and join our group and like our page and say hello.
we're at budgetarcade.com
You can
as well.
We are
on
at
the internets.
on the worldwide interwebs. So you can go to budgetarcade.com and I don't know what you can do there yet because I just heard about the website today because I am not well liked
I'm
among
still
my podcast
working
friends.
on it quite a bit, so there's very little on there right now. I'm trying to piece as much as I can.
Yeah,
on
well,
there,
you need to edit
but
this
we will-
podcast and have the website totally up to date by the time it releases on Tuesday. So, good luck.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yep, music is by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com. This has been a great time.
Yeah, you almost said it. Edit that last one.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm going to. Thank you for joining us. Game on.
Don't forget to clap us out.
Clap us out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't clap. Or...
We're going to count?
Yeah.
We're just going to start clapping?
Jeez.
3, 2, 1.
No, I wasn't ready.
I'm gonna do applause at the end, right?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.